Everybody's out looking for motivation. Everybody's out looking for an inspiration and a reason to go do something, a reason to get up and go work, a reason to get up and show up, a reason to get up and chase their goals and chase their dreams. But what if I told you right now that this video right here is the only motivation you need? What if I told you that? What if I told you you don't need all the videos, you don't need all the quotes, you don't need all the music, you don't need anything to get you going. You just need this video. But again, let me also tell you that what if you don't even need motivation in the first place? Like, the thing you need has nothing to do with motivation. It has nothing to do with inspiration. It has nothing to do with an inspirational video on TikTok. A motivational video on YouTube has nothing to do with that. You need discipline. You need a why. You don't need motivation. Because motivation is something that is temporary. It's something that is emotional. It's something that is unreliable. It's something that is going to come and it's going to go. What actually takes you to this change that you want, what actually gets you to these goals and these dreams that you have, is your purpose, is your discipline, is your why, is your identity, is the pressure and the hard times you might face. So yeah, this video is all the motivation you need, but you don't need motivation. Because if you rely on motivation, you're only going to work when you feel like it. You're only going to work when you're motivated to work. You're only going to show up when you feel like showing up. You're only going to get one step closer when you want to take that step. Like I said, motivation is unreliable, bro. We see it perfectly when the new year comes around. Everybody has these New Year resolutions. Everybody wants to go to the gym. Everybody wants to get stronger. Everybody wants to eat healthy. Everybody wants to start a business on January 1st. Everybody wants to start content. A week later, where's that motivation? Where's the inspiration? Where's that push to do something? A week later, you see half the people, or probably more than half of the people, not even chasing that goal anymore. Not even chasing that thing they said their New Year's resolution was anymore. Because motivation is unreliable. It comes and it goes. You might feel motivated one day, but the next day you won't feel that. Like, people are waiting to feel ready. People are waiting to feel inspired. People are waiting to feel motivated, but that feeling does not last. We've all had it before. We've all had that 3 a.m. motivation. We've all had the 2 a.m. motivation when we get up, we see a video on TikTok and we do 100 push-ups. We come up with a million amount of goals and we come up with so many different dreams and we say, tomorrow I'm going to chase after this. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. Tomorrow I'm going to start a business. You had that 3 a.m. motivation rush, and then the day comes, you don't do anything. You still sit there. You stay right where you are. You stay stuck. Because motivation does not last. Motivation comes, motivation goes. But what doesn't flee you is your discipline, your standards, your habits, your routines, your purpose, your calling, your identity. That stays. That's always there. Always. Like, you need a reason, not just a feeling. That's it. You need a reason. You need a why. You need a purpose. Not just a motivational feeling. Not just a feeling of inspiration. The only motivation you need is your strongest reason why. Why do you get up every day and show up? Why do you get up every day and put the work in? Why do you want to accomplish this goal so bad? Why do you want to become successful so bad? Whether it be because that's what you want your future to look like, whether it be because you want to put on for your family, whether it be you feel like it's your purpose, whether it be it's the life you want to build. What is your why? Why do you get up every day? Why? Why do you chase this dream so hard? Why do you want it so bad? Because when your reason is strong enough, when your why is strong enough, when your purpose and your attention behind it is strong enough, you don't need motivation. You don't. And I can be a perfect example for y'all, bro. Like I tell y'all all the time, if y'all been here, I do not feel like getting in front of this camera every single day. There's days where it's like, bro, I gotta make a video today. I gotta get a video out. There's days where I don't want to sit in front of my phone and record to post on TikTok. There's days where I don't want to get on TikTok live at night. But I know my why. I know my purpose. I know the dreams and the goals that I have, and I get up and I do it anyway. I'm not motivated all the time, bro. I'm not inspired all the time. Yeah, there's days where I'm extra motivated. There's days where I'm super inspired. But there's days where I just rely on my discipline. I rely on my why. I rely on my reason, not motivation. Like, discipline is going to outweigh motivation every single day of the week. 25/8. Your discipline is what gets you to the next level. Your discipline is what takes you the places you want to get to. Helps you become the person you want to become. Helps you achieve all the dreams that you have. Achieve all the goals that you have. Your discipline gets you there, not motivation. And you can ask anybody at the top the same question. Did they get there off discipline or did they get there off motivation? Ask them, are they motivated all the time? I promise you the answer is going to be no. Got to be disciplined. You got to show up when you don't feel like it. That's it. You got to do what needs to be done even when you don't want to do it. You got to post that video. You got to make that call. You got to do that assignment. You got to go hit the gym. You got to go hit the field. Because the people who win do not feel motivated every day. The people who become the best version of themselves, the people who become successful are not motivated every day. I promise you they're not. LeBron James, the biggest basketball player ever, he's not motivated every day. He's 40 years old. I can tell you for a fact he's not motivated every day. But he gets up, he goes to the gym, he puts his work in, and he performs on the highest level. At 40, he's still averaging, 20 plus points this year? They still go do it. They don't give themselves a chance to make an excuse. They don't negotiate with themselves. They just go get the job done. They go show up. They go put the work in even when they don't feel like it, bro. Like, you got to develop your discipline, and you also got to develop your identity, because your identity is the real driver in this case. Your identity is in the driver's seat, bro. I just made a video about your identity. Like, if you don't change your identity first, how do you expect your habits to change? How do you expect you to show up when you don't feel like it? How do you expect you to be disciplined if you don't see yourself as disciplined? Like, when you see yourself as disciplined, as focused, as consistent, as locked in, you will act accordingly. But these things won't happen until you see yourself in that light. Until you shift your identity, until you shift the way you think, the way you move. Like, you don't need motivation when being disciplined is part of who you are. You don't need motivation when being focused is part of who you are. When being consistent is part of who you are, it's part of your identity. Motivation shouldn't mean anything. Being inspired shouldn't mean anything. You should just go do it. You just go work. You just go grind. Even when it might be hard to. Even when you might not feel like it, you just go do it. So you got to change your identity, bro. Like, change your identity first, because at the end of the day, if nothing changes, nothing is going to change. If you don't change your beliefs in yourself, nothing else is going to change. You're not going to become more disciplined. You're not going to become more consistent because you're not believing in yourself in that light. You're not seeing yourself in that light. So identity is the real driver behind everything. Behind the discipline, behind the consistency, behind the hard work and the focus. It's your identity. It's who you are. It's in what you believe about yourself. That's where purpose comes from too. It's through identity. Like I talked about earlier, bro, you got to develop a strong reason to get up and do it every single day. You got to develop a strong purpose and an intention behind that purpose to get up and do it every single day. And when you're so focused on your purpose, when you're so driven by your purpose, motivation becomes something that is optional because you don't need it. It's useless. I talk about it all the time. Like I said earlier, the New Year's resolutions, we see it every single year. 90% of our population comes up with these things and they do them for a single week, bro. They never do it again because they're just inspired. That's not their identity. That's not who they are. They're not disciplined. They're not really focused. They're not really consistent. They just want to be like everybody else and they have this motivational rush and they just go do it for a couple days and Never touch it again. But when you're driven by purpose, when you're driven by your identity, when you're driven by what you want to accomplish, motivation is optional, bro. So yeah, this is the only motivation you need, but stop chasing motivation. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for everything to line up. Stop waiting for the first of the year. Find your reason, find your why, find out who you are and believe in that, and let those things drive you. Let your discipline drive you, let your faith drive you, let your consistency, your focus, let those things drive you. And that's the only motivation you will ever need. But that'll be all for this video, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you like this video, go hit that sub button. We're on the way to 900 subs. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I will see y'all in the next one.